So right now, I've got a problem. I've got a problem with Ottawa Transit. That's in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Ottawa Transit, aka OC Transpo. So you should be able to read this ticket. I purchased a day pass from OC Transpo. I purchased it at January 12th, 2020. You can see I had the top line there. I know that it's kind of hard to read that 12, but yeah, I did purchase that on January 12th, 2020, and I purchased this day pass at 12:26 a.m. So 26 minutes after midnight on January 12th. Well, with Ottawa Transit, day passes are supposed to be good until 3 a.m. But this day pass is good till 3 a.m. But here's the problem I have. Even though I purchased this day pass at 12:26 a.m. on January the 12th, 2020, the day pass that this machine issued me says that it expires at 3 a.m. on January 12th, 2020. It expires at 3 a.m. on January 12th, 2020. So you do the math, and that means that this day pass would only be good for 2 hours and 34 minutes. Like, who the hell purchases a day pass just for 2 hours and 34 minutes of use? I purchased a day pass because I want to use public transit for that day. And I think it's a reasonable expectation, too, that when I purchase a day pass at 12:26 a.m. on January 12th, that since it's good till 3 a.m., that it should be good till 3 a.m. on January 13th at 3 a.m., not January 12th at 3 a.m. So yeah, I feel like I've been ripped off by Ottawa Transit. So I am going to go to Ottawa Transit and I'm going to present that to them. I'm going to go to the OC Transpo booth at the Rideau Center Shopping Mall and present that to them and ask them for a refund or at least a credit, such as a day pass that's good for another day or some transit tickets or something. Like, I should be reimbursed for this. This is not right. Every other transit system that I've purchased day passes on, it works the way you expect it to. In that, like, for example, in Toronto, if I purchase a day pass at 12 midnight, then that day pass is good for that entire day, and it doesn't expire until 5:30 a.m. the next day. So, by example, if I purchase a day pass at 12 midnight a.m. on January 1st, that day pass is good till 5:30 a.m. on January 2nd. If I ride Montreal Transit and I purchase a day pass again at 12 a.m. January 1st, it's good till 12 a.m. January 2nd. So let's say I purchase at 12:03 a.m. January 1st, it's good till 12:03 a.m. January 2nd. That's with Montreal. Calgary Transit's the same deal. As long as I purchase a day pass on that particular day, anytime, midnight or thereafter, it's good for the rest of that day. And it doesn't expire till at the very earliest midnight of the following day. So I'm going to get at least 24 hours out of it. Works the same way in Vancouver Transit. Like, I've purchased day passes before during the midnight hour on Vancouver Transit, and that day pass is good till I think it's around 1 or 2 a.m. in Vancouver Transit. But that's 1 or 2 a.m. the following day. So I get 25 or 26 hours of use out of that day pass. Any other transit system that I've purchased day passes from, I get at least 24 hours of use out of that day pass. But for some reason with Ottawa Transit, if you purchase a day pass before 3 a.m., you only get to use it up until 3 a.m. of that particular day. It's some kind of serious flaw that they have in their system that they really need to correct. So as I said, I'm going to go to the OC Transpo office at the Rideau Centre Shopping Mall in Ottawa and speak to them about that. See what happens. They might or might not be able to do anything for me there, and if they can't do anything for me there, then I'm going to contact OC Transpo's actual office, like their call center, and speak to them. And, I expect to be reimbursed somehow because it's a reasonable expectation. And the thing is, with that kind of flaw in their system, they should make it very clear how their day passes work. That, for example, if you purchase a day pass at 2:59 a.m. on January 1st, it's only going to be good till 3 a.m. January 1st. Whereas if you purchase a day pass at 3 a.m. January 1st, then it will be good till 3 a.m. January 2nd. They should make that very clear. They should put some instructions there indicating that a day pass purchased before 3 a.m. is anytime before 3 a.m. is going to end at 3 a.m. Even if you only manage to get a few minutes of use out of that day pass, that in order to get a full day's use out of a day pass, that it should be purchased at or after 3 a.m. So anyways, I'm going to be dealing with Ottawa Transit on this one, and I'll let you know the results. I'll either A, make a follow-up video, or B, I'll put the results in the description bar of this video to let you know the outcome of this situation. And I've got some more beefs with Ottawa Transit as well too. In general, I find Ottawa Transit to be a pretty decent system. I find OC Transpo to be a pretty decent system. It covers Ottawa well. They've got several BRT routes, bus rapid transit routes here in Ottawa that I've found in the past have always worked very well. And they have a high enough frequency on the bus routes I've ridden with OC Transpo that they have a high enough frequency that to accommodate their passengers properly. But this new OC Transpo LRT line, the Confederate line or Line 1, that goes from Tunney's Pastor's station to Blair, they need to go back to the drawing board on that line. There's so many shortcomings with that line. Like, I understand they spent over $2 billion on that line. And it took them close to 10 years, or up to 10 years, to do that line. They should have done a better job on it. It's almost like I get the feeling that they ran out of money along the way. First of all, I was mentioning in a previous video that I did within the last day or two, I think I just did it yesterday, how some of their LRT trains are not properly heated. Like, I was riding a train yesterday morning when the temperature was about -5 Celsius, or about minus 10 Celsius if you include the wind chill. And that train felt cold as hell. Like, that train was probably less than 10 degrees Celsius inside of it. It was so damn cold. I don't know if the heater wasn't working properly or if the operator didn't have the heater turned on or what the story is. But I've read and heard that they've had a number of problems with heating on some of their trains. Like, I've heard about some of their trains being as cold as only 7 degrees Celsius. That's 45 Fahrenheit in the middle of winter. That's unacceptable. Another thing too, with their some of their stations, they did not complete some of their stations to the extent that I think they should have. Example, some of their stations I've been at, they only have roof covering for part of the platform. Like I went to this one station yesterday, can't think of the name of the station off the top of my head, but the overhead covering only covers like a little over half of the platform, and another half of the platform is not covered. So if it's raining or snowing, any kind of precipitation's falling, you're going to end up getting wet if you have to wait on that half of the platform. And the thing is, if the platform's crowded, you might have no choice but to wait on that half of the platform and get wet. Like they spent over $2 billion on this system. They could have at least spent a few $1,000s extra just to make sure to cover that platform properly. And these stations as well too are cold as hell. Some of them do have those overhead tube heaters, but in some cases those tube heaters don't work very well or don't work at all. I was at this one station yesterday where they did have some tube heaters, and I was standing underneath these tube heaters, but at the same time they had some kind of fan going right beside the tube heaters, and that fan was pretty much canceling out any positive effect that tube heaters would have at all. And the other problem with these some of these stations not having proper overhead covering, not having proper ceilings, is that besides it being uncomfortable, it's also a safety issue. If it's raining or snowing or whatever, that platform's might become slippery, and there's a possibility of people slipping and falling on the platform. On a worst case scenario, there's even a possibility of someone slipping and falling off of the platform into the path of an oncoming train. And the way that some of these stations are organized as well too, like I think I was leaving, like I'll use the Tunney's Pastor station. Once I got to Tunney's Pastor, I was going to take a bus from Tunney's Pastor to Bayshore Shopping Mall. There's at least 5 or 6 bus routes that go from Tunney's Pastor LRT station to Bayshore Shopping Mall. Like, to give you some examples, Route 11, Route 57, Route 61, Route 62, Route 63, Route 64, and Route 66. All of those routes go from Tunney's Pastor to Bayshore Shopping Mall. And you would think that if they had any sense, they would put all those routes together or very close by, so that if you miss one, you can catch another one in that same area of the station to get to Bayshore Shopping Mall. But they have these routes really well spread out that you have to be walking a few hundred meters in some cases to get from one platform to the next. Like they could just organize these platforms, organize these bus terminals and train terminals a little bit better, make them a little bit more user-friendly. Yeah, there's a number of things OC Transpo needs to go back to the drawing board on, such as proper heating, proper overhead covering, and yeah, they just need to go back to the drawing board and improve their system, because this is not acceptable. I found that before this new Confederate line 1 was opened up, that the previous BRT system that was there in place before that worked much better than this new LRT line. And I just hope that they hurry up and get the bugs out of this new LRT line, because that would be really disgraceful if they spent over $2 billion of taxpayers' money and they couldn't even get it right. Come on, OC Transpo, you can do better than this.